Hello, hello, hola, hola. Welcome back to Walk Around Puerto Rico. My name is Daniela, and this is
Hanna.
and today we'll be talking a little bit about the nature and endemic wildlife of the island of Puerto Rico. Hanna, do you wanna?
Sure, yeah. So while we were having the live virtual classes, we would always start with intros and name and pronouns and then answering a relevant question. From there going into a discussion. So today just think a little about if you could be an animal, which one would you be? And then if you would like, talk to your peers, your parents, about these questions that relate to our class today of what do you think about when you hear the word nature? Why is nature so important to us? And do you know any creation stories? Because we're about to learn a little bit about a Taino creation story.
So, this video will be linked below. It's the Taino myth of the cursed creator, and it talks about how kind of the oceans and islands were made. So these people lived in the Antilles, which are just a section in the Caribbean Sea, made of like little islands. So this is how they interpret how it is that their land came to be. It's really short, really nice, and the visuals are super cute. So please go ahead and check this video out. It's a great resource.
And so the very large tropical rainforest wildlife just reserve and protected area is the Yunque forest. And so it's the only tropical rainforest in the US National Forest System. And it has year-round tropical climate. And because of that, tons and tons of biodiversity. The flora, the fauna, they're all tightly packed in there because it's such a rich place to be in. Most of the land of the forest is made up of the Luquillo Mountains that are like 3,500 feet above sea level. And they can get over 200 inches of rain. It rains like every day there. So very luscious. As you can see in this picture, just verdant, a lot of growth there and a lot of things going on. And the average temperature here isn't too bad. It's like 73 degrees Fahrenheit, which is perfect for tropical vegetation. And so makes the rainforest home to over 150 fern species and 240 tree species, and then over thousands of plant types in total. If you are a botanist, you will definitely love to go here, or any kind of environmental scientist in any way. So the forest is also home to over 100 species of mammals, 97 species of birds, and around 100 species of reptiles and amphibians. So it's home to 5 endangered species that are like federally listed and 1 threatened species. And with this, a lot of conservation work is being done to save them. It's really good work that this area is being protected, and within that, specific species as well are being given special attention because it's really important. And it's a very important source of water, where it has providing 20% of Puerto Rico's fresh water. That's 1/5 of all the fresh water that the island gets. So that's really precious and should continue to be protected.
Yeah. Also, you can go there and like do some hiking trails. You can learn more about each of these species, like on the conservatory kind of thing. And yeah, it's a very cool place to visit if you ever are down in Puerto Rico.
And so, inspired by that, there are a few endemic, meaning they only occur or show up in Puerto Rico, endemic species of butterfly. So, inspired by that, uh, we would like you to make your own origami butterfly with markings inspired by the butterflies of the Yunque rainforest, but doesn't have to be exactly that. So this one was mine, and it was the patterns came from a coloring sheet. But you can see that these butterflies, which is the Callisto and the Harlequin pictured here, are so vibrant and beautifully colored with this lovely pattern. And yeah, so you can go ahead and decorate it kind of like the Callisto with those owl eyes, or the Harlequin with, it makes me think of like looking at waves from underwater. Yeah, just have fun with it.
Yeah, and Hannah made a beautiful butterfly over there, so you all can do it too. Okay, so this is the Puerto Rican boa. The Puerto Rican boa can grow up to 7 feet long, and they're the longest snakes in Puerto Rico, so don't worry. They're only a foot taller than most men. They aren't venomous, and instead they use their bodies to get their prey, so they will strangle them and eat them. They can also swim and slither inland, but most of the time they spend it inside of trees or like in caves. They usually eat birds, lizards, and bats. And to catch these bats, they like hang from a tree, like if they were a vine. And then they'll just like swing and look and then snatch a bat that's flying around. Fun fact, bats are like the only endemic mammal species of the island. So interesting relationship right there. We also will link this. There's a YouTube video where you can watch a boa trap a bat and
Snatch up a bat.
snap it. Yeah. Wait. Do you want to go?
Sure. So this is the Coqui. El Coqui is a tiny, tiny frog, only 1 to 2 inches long. But despite their tiny size, they are one of the largest frog species in Puerto Rico. And it's usually brown or yellow, as you can kind of see in the picture at the bottom. The picture of the top is actually from Taino symbology, and it's the Coquí is very special to everyone on the island. It's like a sound of home because of all the frogs at night. They'll be like Coquí, 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 and you hear them all through the night. But its scientific name means free toes because they don't have webbed feet, unlike many other frogs. And this is because they have to climb and such, so their toes have to be adapted a little differently than the webbed feet. They have discs or toe pads that let them climb vertically and stick to trees and leaves. So similar to kind of how you might see like a newt or gecko's feet might be. And so the Coqui name refers to the name to the sound that they make, which they sing from dusk till dawn all throughout Puerto Rico. And they don't have a tadpole stage. They come out of eggs as frogs with short tails. So
which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, they skip ahead a little. And so there's yeah, they are like very important and they're very prominent, but they also do need to be protected. But so during the time of the Taino Indians, trillions of coquis serenaded the ancestral home of Puerto Rico, Borikén. Many Taino Indian myths surround the coqui. When you look at Puerto Rican Taino art, you can see the coqui meant a lot to them. Coquis are found in much of the Taino art, like pictographs and pottery, and the symbol is still used today. It's still iconic.
Yeah, super cute. This video will also be linked below so you can hear them Coquí, Coquí all night long. So this is the Puerto Rican parrot. La cotorra puertorriqueña, they have lived in the forest for over thousands of years. Their population has significantly shrunk because of forestry and forest land has become into cities and farms. So the population had dwindled, but thankfully they were put in the threatened species list. They were trying to being bred again, so they have like regained a little bit of strength. It is one of the rarest birds in the world, given that it's only found in Puerto Rico. And they use their green and turquoise feathers to camouflage in the trees. They literally look part of the tree almost, exact same color as like palm trees. And they usually eat like seeds, flowers, and leaves and bark. And they fly around in pairs. They're really social birds, so you'll see them like squawking and like flying in like a little formation around the island sometimes. It's a really special moment. Everyone's like, oh, look at them go. Yeah, super cute.
So the Sato Dogs, they're located in a little bit of a different place often, but they roam all around the island. You'll see them in cities too. But Sato is a Puerto Rican term for mixed wild dog breeds that roam the island. So the dogs, they are so diverse that it's nearly impossible to find accurate results for what breed they are, or like what different breeds that they're made up of. So there's no particular breed of them. The Sato dogs is just this kind of group of mixed wild dogs, but they do have like a particular look almost, even though they're so diverse. So hundreds of them, even hundreds, gather in packs, and they'll be hungry because they're these wild dogs. And so more recently, the population has grown, and they're now in cities and daily life. You'll see them all around. But there are also multiple organizations doing work to try to get some Sato dogs adopted actually, and help save them, take care of them, those that are on the island already. So one such organization is All Sato Rescue, which describes the dogs as Satos are like snowflakes. From their distinctive ears to their signature tails to their unique personalities, no two are alike. Yet they all have something in common. Each dog has the potential to become the most loyal and loving companion you've ever known.
So cute. And then this is the hawksbill and leatherback sea turtles. They you can see them like if you're doing some paddleboarding in the on the water, or if you're lucky enough to see them nesting. That's a beautiful sight. So the hawksbill sea turtle, or carey de concha, which is the top one, is a threatened species. And then the leatherback sea turtle, which is the one in the bottom picture, is one of the largest turtle species on Earth, and it is endangered. Both of these turtles typically enjoy shallow waters, sandbanks, and the sandbanks that the island offers, because this is like a great nesting area. However, a major threat to their existence is this very same destruction of their nesting areas in these sandbanks. So because of the destruction and development of tourist and residential projects near the beaches, these turtles are losing their mating area, their like nesting area. Even the leatherback sea turtles, like the way that the baby sea turtles make their way to the sea is by following the moonlight into the water. But when apartment buildings and hotels have illumination for the beaches, these sea turtles get confused and they follow instead the light of the hotels, and they make their way to the opposite direction of the water, which is really unfortunate to hear. And this is part of why they're endangered. So something like Playuela, the concept of Playuela, is very much a big debate on the island, and it has to be part of the conversation because this is destroying natural habitats for a lot of different species. So Playuela is an area that covers 4,000 feet of coastline and 5 ecosystems on the northwest side of the island in Aguadilla. Um, there is a tourism development that has been threatening the area for a couple years now. The development has, been in planning stages for a while, but it's failed to take, considering that there are a lot of endangered species and other wildlife ecosystems that it would be affecting. And this is talked about by the protesters that go there, to just like make it a point that these developers haven't taken into consideration these facts. So originally, 137 acres of this land were being designated for a hotel and apartment buildings by the sea. But the opposition projects that are called, they use the phrase a lot, las playas son del pueblo, or the beaches are of the city, of the people. Um, just aim to like conscientize and like educate people on what it is that we would be losing if this project goes through. So this project, one of them at least, is aptly named Christopher Columbus Landing Resort. Talk about colonialism. But yeah, the organization Save Playuela created a list of 550 species that inhabit the area, including 12 endemic species and 8 that are in danger of extinction. This is an alarming rate of species that just would be affected by this development. And many of these species are never mentioned in the resort's project's environmental impact statement. So again, it's just carelessness that is probably destroying the habitat of 550 different species that inhabit the area. Some of the highlighted ones is the Coquí, which is protected, and then also like 11 federally protected marine species would also be included in that. So this is happening because of some incentives that are just being propelled on the island for people outside of the island. So they're incentivizing these lands for them to be developed. And it sort of goes hand in hand with privatization, but privatization has its benefits and downsides. One of the benefits would be like, well, the land is being paid for, it's generating money, and therefore it would be kept clean and stuff. But it has its downsides, including, well, in this case, they didn't include the species in their environmental impact statement. And also this land would be developed, so taking away from those natural resources that are so important for the island. And also, this would prohibit almost completely the access to beaches that people like just love going to, and they've cared for generations. Puerto Ricans love just beach hopping around the island, and the concept of paying for a beach is just so foreign that it's just terrible to see the possibility of it becoming privatized. Yeah. So yeah, Hannah.
Yeah, so to inspired by that and trying to, you know, like go against that in a way, trying to protect the places that we care for, especially natural places, such as the natural wonders of Puerto Rico's beaches. We have this handout for you of how you can color it in. It's a really awesome coloring sheet, but there on the bottom right is a sign that you can write a message, anything that you want to say about protecting and conserving the space. How would you want to shout at the hilltops for the space to stay around? What is important about it?
Yeah. We also invite you to, if the beaches don't really resonate with you, take a piece of paper and just think about a place in nature that you feel really good in, and then think about how it would be if it were destroyed. What type of message would you write to save this place? Those are just some questions you can also like just think about, you know. In general, climate change is really affecting our Earth as a whole, and there's a lot of places that really need just attention from humans so that they are conserved.
That's all from us for today. For next class, we're going to talk about Puerto Rico and United States relations, just specifically in the way that the U.S. Has controlled Puerto Rico. Thank you again so much, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.
Bye.